Implementation overview. How we set up the evaluation. So the first thing we asked you to do is to identify two similar ability Year 4 or Year 5 classes. This does require two-form entry as randomization is done at class level. So the platform will then randomly allocate one class to the intervention and one to the control. We'll then ask you to complete the pre-assessment task with both, which is the spelling test. The intervention group will use the spelling strategy for the duration of the trial, which is 5 weeks. The control class will continue as normal. And then the post-assessment task is a spelling test again, which is done for both the intervention and control classes. So let's look at this as a step-by-step approach to running the evaluation. So in the planning stage, identify two similar ability classes to participate in the evaluation from the same year group. Step 2, identify 60 challenging words from the National Curriculum Guidance. These will be introduced by introducing 15 new spellings a week over 4 weeks, and select 20 of these tricky words to use as a pre- and post-assessment task. Step 3, using the trial wizard on the What Word Teachers platform, randomly assign a class to the intervention and then the control group. Implementation. Complete the pre-assessment spelling task with both the intervention and control groups, record the marks into the Excel tracker, and then input the data into the pre-test on the trial wizard. With this being class data, it's probably best to have another teacher or teaching assistant read out the scores to help you input these in quicker into the platform. Step 5. For the intervention class, deliver the targeted intervention. Use your professional judgment to decide the frequency, whether this is daily or weekly, and log this in the process evaluation. The control group will continue as business as usual for the duration of the trial. Then complete the post-assessment spelling task, which is the same as the pre, to both the intervention and control groups. Record the marks in your Excel tracker and then input the data into the post-test on the trial wizard. Then if you analyze the data, it will then generate an impact report to tell you how the intervention has worked in your school. The intervention. So the target group for this is Year 4 or Year 5 pupils. The intervention is delivered by a teacher and can be set as homework, and each session should take about 10 minutes. The intervention is the look, say, cover, write, check method learning of spelling, where children study a word, say the word aloud clearly, paying attention to the spelling, cover it up with a piece of paper or their hand. We include a template in the resource folder. Write the spelling next to the original word, check their version to see if they got it right, and then write the correct spelling again if this is necessary. This version of the strategy emphasizes the reading and saying the word aloud to help connect the written and spoken word. How to select the spellings. The DfE Primary National Curriculum includes guidance on pages 59 to 72 on the expected spellings. Please use this to create a list of 60 words that you will select for the intervention. Each week, the learners will then practice 15 new spellings using the look, say, cover, write, check strategy. And from this list of 60 words, you will then select 20 for the pre- and post-assessment. The resource that we include is a template in the resource folder. And we include a tracking spreadsheet, which allows you to identify students' anonymized IDs, such as student 1, 2, 3, to students in your class. Just some key considerations before using a targeted spelling strategy. So is there a suitable time of the day when you'll be delivering this? So it's routine. If you set this for homework, can you use reminders? The resource is just to make sure that you've printed off the templates in advance of the sessions. And will you link to any rewards? Logistical barriers are often common when interventions are delivered in schools, so just consider these prior to starting the intervention. And the assessment, as we've already gone through, the outcome measure is attainment as defined by the pre and post spelling test. The assessment is marked out of 20 and is the same for both the pre and the post. And as both the groups have access to the same assessment, the familiarity of the assessment should not bias the effect size. When it comes to the assessment, could you please complete this under test conditions? Allow approximately 10 to 15 minutes for the assessment. Provide an example of the word in a sentence for each spelling, and then record the pre and post assessment into your tracking spreadsheet. So that's the end of the implementation guidance. The next thing to do is to download the protocol and then the resource folder before starting the trial on the trial wizard.